payment for your injuries. The insurance companies have attorneys working hard on their side, and so should you. Call 1-800-526-0005.
All rise, please. You may be seated. I know that each of you has been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You claim you purchased a gold mining trip to Alaska, and there were some misrepresentations made to you, sir?
That's correct.
How much did you pay for this whole trip, sir?
It was $1,950, and they charged me an extra $75 for the airfare to change my ticket by not staying the full 3 weeks. I only stayed a week.
That was the airline who charged you.
Why'd you only stay?
That was the airlines, and I also bought $350 worth of heavy equipment gear, rain gear.
Why did you leave after 1 week if you bought 3 weeks?
Well, sir, I think when you see the...
No, I asked you why, and just tell me.
Okay. It was so terribly oversold and so terribly misrepresented after 3 weeks' time.
Those are conclusions of your part, sir. On your part. You have to tell me what was misrepresented.
The amount of gold that we would possibly get, the preponderance
Wait a
of...
minute.
Okay.
Did they give you a definite figure that you'd get X ounces of gold?
Just in the ballpark value of about an ounce to an ounce and a half a day.
Tell me why you left in a week, though.
It was not there. I just simply threw in the towel because the second week...
How would you know what would happen the next 2 weeks?
I wouldn't really know that, but from what I had seen after just 4 days, and we couldn't get a straight answer out of how much gold we were getting. See, we were in 3-man crews, working 5 hours a shift and 3 shifts a day. And we were just constantly working like that. I forget how many crews, 12 or 15 maybe.
You were only on 1 shift per day.
I was only on the one shift,
were you
5
there
hours.
Too? Were you there?
Yes, I was there.
On the trip?
I was. I was in charge of making sure that the operation ran smoothly, and that also that the beach concentrators that we used were put in strategic places that had the best gold.
How many people were on the trip?
There were approximately 120 people there during the time that he was there, and we had sufficient equipment to complement everybody that was working there, and we put the sluice boxes, or specially designed equipment, in the best places we could possibly find.
Did the rest of them leave after a week?
No.
Did anyone leave before the full 3 weeks?
There were
completed?
a few people who left early because they were sick or because they didn't feel that that they were getting enough gold, but most of the people that left early were sick, and the reason for that is because of the constant barrage of storms that we had during the time we were there, which is not normal.
What did you supply for the 3 weeks for this $1,950?
We supplied food, we supplied a shelter, a place for them to stay, a roof to sleep under, and we supplied hot meals, 3 or 4 hot meals per day. We supplied specially designed mining equipment for working on the beach, and the airfare was included. I have an invoice from where we paid for his airfare. It was $815 from San Diego.
Let me see the invoice. That's where you left from, San Diego? Sir?
Yes, sir.
This here. I also have an acknowledgement that was signed by Mr. Kaler on the 14th of June that states that he holds us harmless in every way whatsoever, and that he was made no promises whatsoever
let me see.
of the amount of gold that he would receive. And he was in our office several times, and he came in personally and signed up, and I interviewed him, and I told him that, it's possible that we could do very well, but it's also possible that we could get nothing. And in his case, we did get some gold. We got 18.5 ounces our first week. And considering the weather and the problems that we had in high water, and the rivers were all at flood stage, and the constant storms, I thought we did pretty well.
Did he benefit from this in any way?
He did receive a share of gold the first week he was there, and that share per person turned out to be 3 pennyweights of gold, which was about 1/8 of an ounce.
Worth how much?
$41 by the gold man that buys gold in Fallbrook. This is it right here. I'd like for the judge to take a look at that. That represents a full week of work for a 5-hour shift, and we had...
Did you sign that, sir?
We literally worked our buns off to get that.
Did you sign that, sir? Don't put that with your papers.
Oh.
No, don't hand it back to him yet.
Oh, yes, I did sign that.
Do you understand what you...
Did you
understand it when you signed...
I understood the fact that there would be no lawsuits. Lawsuits is a thing now that everybody's so wary of. The whole idea, I would accept the fact that I might get hurt up there or something. That was basically what we were signing for. This gentleman told me right in his office that $300 to $350 or $400 a day wages is not bad. And he said that can be made on the Nome Beach.
Okay, we'll take a short recess. I'll come back and give you my decision.
Saturday morning, Mr. Wendell LeCrance begins a search for a used car.
Hi, about the car. What's sold? Okay, fine. It's an 87? Oh, it's a 47. Okay, fine. Oh, it's not a car. Okay, fine.
Sunday evening, Wendell ended his search. Don't waste your time.
Hello, car search.
Just call 1-800-CAR-SEARCH, and in 5 minutes, they'll mail or fax you a free custom list that'll let you find the right used car or truck. 1-800-CAR-SEARCH. If it's not on our list, it's probably not for sale.
Okay, fine.
Do you know how quick and easy it is to make a bubbly?
Stick your head in the refrigerator.
My mother. With the Bubble Italian bread shell, all you add is fresh tomato and chicken, whatever, and you get a fresh homemade pizza. Actually, it's more than a pizza.
Bravo.
Boboli has fresh parmesan, olive oil, and a touch of garlic baked right in. Add what you like. 8 minutes, you get a meal. So always keep a Bobble in the house.
Or two.
Of course, Mama. Remember, it's more than a pizza. It's a Boboli.
Our courtroom observers favored the defendant in this dispute. Judge Wapner's verdict is coming right up.
How long does Replens relieve the discomfort of vaginal dryness? For days at a time. Call 1-800-4-REPLENS for a free sample and discover the difference of Replens. Vaginal moisture that lasts for days.
Some people, you tell them a Lender's bagel has complex carbohydrates, 20% more than a lot of cereals people call healthy. And they still think good stuff has to come in a bowl. Well, there you go. Lender's bagels. Who knew they were this good?
Dad? Is your family trying to tell you something? Yes, Dentine now has more breath-freshening flavor. So brush your breath clean with great-tasting new Dentine.
Fido. Fetch Fido.
Is your best friend trying to tell you something? Yes, Dentine now has more breath-freshening flavor. So brush your breath clean with great-tasting new Dentine.
An accident takes only a moment. The suffering can last a lifetime, but you may have a right to collect money for your injuries, and our lawyers can help you get money. Call the Lawyers Group. To be connected with a participating lawyer or law firm near you, call toll-free 1-800-677-2020. Your lawyer gets paid only if you collect money. We help injured people. Call 1-800-677-2020.
Attorney advertisement. Lawyers Group Advertising is not a law firm or a lawyer referral service. Call the Lawyers Group.
Kennedy Space Center, the shuttle Discovery. Putting the flight systems through final check, Lockheed's Chris Tyler, shuttle technician and DeVry graduate.
I wanted a career that was going somewhere. To be at the leading edge of technology, I needed the right education. DeVry was the best choice.
At DeVry, you can get a degree that puts you at the leading edge of business and technology.
DeVry launched my career.
Call anytime. 1-800-247-7800. DeVry. We're serious about success.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
What you really want to do, sir, is you want to rescind this contract that you made with them, and you want to get your $2,000 back. They've spent the money on food and shelter for you, and $815 for airfare. But this acknowledgement that you signed says they're not guaranteeing how much gold you're going to get, and it's a complete disclaimer. You can still prove fraud, but with the way this reads, your evidence would have to be overwhelming that they really told you something different than what you're saying. You're saying, in effect, you haven't told me I'd get any amount of gold. And then on the other hand, you say, well, they promised, makes it look like I'm going to get gold. I don't think you've proven any fraud, sir, which should entitle you to rescission. And there's just no basis for your recovery here. Judgment is for the defendant.
And that'll wrap it up for this case. It will also bring to a close this session of the People's Court for now. I'm Doug Llewellyn, thanking you once again for joining us and reminding you that if you're involved in a dispute with another party and someone files a lawsuit against you but you don't think you've done anything wrong, don't be intimidated by that. As you've just seen, the best policy is to go to court and stand up for your rights.
Day 2 of the trial that should have happened. The People versus Amy Fisher. The defense.
I had an affair with a married man.
Did Amy act alone?
Joey knew of my intentions.
The People versus Amy Fisher continues as Amy takes the stand.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 5 New York.
If you have cataracts or glaucoma, you know how precious your eyes really are. At the New York Eye Surgery Center, we understand that. We have over 80 caring people in a state-of-the-art facility. Call 1-800-888-1717. The New York Eye Surgery Center. 1-800-888-1717. We'll help you take care of your eyes.
Come to Puppy City for the largest selection of AKC puppies. Free housebreaking wee-wee pads with every purchase of a puppy. That's at Puppy City, Ocean Avenue and Avenue U in Brooklyn, New York.
A quick reminder. Lubriderm lotion heals your dry skin and protects it. Remember, the one created for dermatologists is the one that heals and protects. See you later, alligator.
Now for your bath. Lubriderm introduces the Loofah Bar with natural loofah to gently exfoliate for softer, smoother skin. See you later, alligator.
Rock and Roseanne, only on Fox 5.
America held hostage. We're here every night during this crisis, except for weekends, to keep you posted as to how America is dealing with the Clinton presidency. Welcome, folks, to the Rush Limbaugh Show, now known as the fourth branch of government. Happy to have you with us. I always, before the show starts, I do it all on this show. I warm up the audience. I go out and I do various things. And I always ask the audience, are any liberals in this crowd tonight? And whenever I ask that, I always get boo. I say there are none. Are there any spouses who've been dragged here against their will? And tonight, a couple of hands went up. Normally, it doesn't happen. And one of the guys, and usually it's women when it happens, but tonight it's a guy who held up his hand. I'm mad at this show. I said, why? Because you're always making fun of Clinton. Well, let me tell you something. If that makes you mad, too, you bet. There's the guy. There's the guy right there. There he is. If that makes you mad, you should turn the show off now, because we're not going to make fun of him. We're just going to, as usual, tell the truth. Many people think it's making fun, but it's not. Here he is, folks. He's adopted a new slogan. This is another pointer from the rainforest. This is a different one. It's darker wood, as you can see. It's shorter than last night, and it works just fine. Right here. Oh no! It's Clinton's fault. Isn't that how it works? You blame Reagan and Bush for things they didn't do. All right. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he's a new campaign slogan. We'll share it with you tonight, tell you what it is. This guy is going to run for the Senate, and we have his first campaign speech. This guy is... This is the Reverend Jackson. And the Reverend Jackson has demanded a military takeover of Haiti. We'll explain that. This Groundhog's Day, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton did see his shadow today. And as a result, there will be 6 more weeks of lagging employment. Here is the president, and here's the cabinet. You can see them all here. This is Punxsutawney Phil. Here's our 4th monitor. Now, I want to show you something that happened the last day we were here before going to San Francisco, and we didn't have a chance to show you this on television. But we did play it for you on radio. Now, there's so much to be gleaned from this. A, who's running the show? B, what priorities there are in running the show. Let's take you back to the day after the inauguration. This is the open house at the White House. Now remember,
there was a major PR flub up. They handed out tickets to this thing while saying it's an open house. Hey, if you want to come to the White House for open house, come on in. But they forgot to tell people that only if you had tickets could you get in. So more people than had tickets showed up. And so Clinton's out there saying, well, I guess this is what happens in a democracy. No. Well, it's what happened when you give things away. More people than you ever dreamed show up to get it. Now just take a look at this, folks. This is just, it's priceless and classic. Take a look at it.
I've got thank you. Here's the problem. Is that for reasons unknown to us, they opened the gates and let people without tickets in, and we just screwed all these people.
We have swarms, so we are setting up the sound system outside.
Yeah, but here's what I just told Wendy. I want the people with the tickets brought in. That's what they do.
That's what we're doing.
Let's
go back through that line and get the people with the tickets. We're doing that right this minute.
Here's another thing I can do. I need to take a bathroom break. That's what I think. That's what I think. That's what we're going to do. I could walk the line. Yeah, why don't we just... I could follow the line.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay, well, shut off the house here. Right.
Okay.
But tell them I'm coming out. Shut the house.
Okay.
I need you just to look.
Come here. All right, now, let me tell you what just happened. Hillary said, my gosh, we just screwed these people. How right she is. Clinton said, yeah, we just screwed these people. These people with tickets, why? There's a bunch of people without tickets showed up. Yeah, you go to those people without tickets that they can't come in. Oh, by the way, before I got to go to the bathroom. And then what you didn't hear was, look, I got to go. The bathroom's all the way down there, and if I walk down that line with all those people, I have to stop shaking hands. I'll never get to the bathroom. That's what that was about. How can I get to the bathroom without walking down the line? This is our new president. Now, folks, one other quick thing. I should put this headline up there, Chet. This is Mario Cuomo story headline. We have that. Cuomo, Clinton needs govs to sell econ plan. Can I take you back 1 week before the Democratic convention started in July? You had the CBS Sunday Morning News. You had Face the Nation. You had Meet the Depressed. You had This Week with David Brinkley. You had Sunday Today. You had CBS in New York Local. You had about 15 shows, all on Saturday and Sunday, and Mario Cuomo's on every one of them. And what's he saying? Bill Clinton should be elected president. He has the courage to raise your taxes. Everybody knows that this country is only going to be straightened around if we raise your taxes, and Bill Clinton is the man to do it. So I'm sure at Clinton headquarters they're watching this going, oh, gee, how do we shut this up? The last thing you want is somebody saying to the American people on the verge of your convention, he's got courage, he's going to raise your taxes. So it was 2 days later that Clinton came out with this thing about, you know who I think would be great for the U.S. Supreme Court would be Mario Cuomo. That's how he shut him up. All through the campaign, there it is. Take a look there. There you have it. It's an advanced picture, folks. This is what's coming. They had to get Cuomo to stop promising that Clinton was going to raise taxes. They had to do it. So they promised. He's not qualified to be in the court. When's he ever been a judge? What's the last case he decided? Doesn't matter. We can't have him out there talking about taxes. Well, apparently he's not happy because President Clinton will have to raise taxes and cut spending to cut the deficit, and he'll need the nation's governors to help sell it to the American people. Now, if you're Clinton, you got to be sitting there saying, wait a minute. How can this be? This guy's just a governor. He's a governor of New York. He leaves a governor's conference inside my house, inside the White House, goes out and has a press conference that Bill Clinton needs to raise taxes and cut spending. Well, I'm supposed to say that. So, my friends, keep a sharp eye. Next week or 10 days, something again will happen with Cuomo because they've got to shut him up. We got the rest of our show coming up right after this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
A Department of Energy study reveals that most American homes are under-insulated. So if you plan to build a house, remodel, or add additional insulation, you can find out the best product for your project simply by calling you-know-who. Call 1-800-GET-PINK.
You know, I enjoy performing, but I also enjoy working out. That's why I go to General Nutrition Centers and get Cybergenics Phase 1. You get a training tape and a manual plus 5 state-of-the-art supplements. Hey, if this guy can do it, you can do it. Get Cybergenics at GNC.
No story tonight, honey. My throat.
Here, take a Sucrets. Only Sucrets has the long-lasting medicine diclonine to wrap your throat in soothing relief.
And the whole castle fell asleep.
Sucrets wraps your throat in soothing relief.
Room Plus, a lot of living in a little space. Take a look, whatever your needs, a lot for a little versatility. Any combination, any coloration. Room Plus, a lot of living in a little space.
If you or someone you love has been seriously injured in a car or motorcycle accident, the results can be devastating. At times like these, you need an attorney. Call the Injury Helpline. Talk to an attorney near you for free. One who will explain your legal rights and costs. There are no attorney fees unless you receive payment for your injuries. The insurance companies have attorneys working hard on their side, and so should you. Call 1-800-526-0005.
Hi, glad you're back. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke earlier on in the program today about a new campaign slogan that has been introduced. And actually, it's not a campaign slogan. I think, rather, it's a new national ideal that has been introduced. It happened just today as President Clinton was speaking to the governors on this, the last day of the governors' conference in Washington, D.C. We'd like to show you this clip. And watch the applause after his speech.
That's the only thing I ask of you. If we say, okay, we're going to have more waivers and you're going to be able to experiment in projects that use federal dollars, let's measure the experiment. Let's be honest about it. And if it works, let's tell everybody it works so we can all do it. And if it doesn't, let's have the courage to quit and admit it didn't.
Now watch the applause. You'd like to be sitting there, you're governor, you've come to Washington with your hand out, here, Gov, put some money in there, you're the new president, you said you're going to take care of us, the states count. That's all these guys have come to Washington for, is handouts. And he says, we got to try a bunch of new ideas, and if they don't work, we've got to have the courage to quit. Somebody would like to tell Jimmy Johnson of the Dallas Cowboys, hey, Jimmy, when you next gather your team next summer at training camp, new philosophy going into the '93 season, we must have the courage to quit. What is he talking? We got to have the courage to quit. You know, there are certain things, we all have to know our limitations. For example, if you can't throw a baseball 90 or 95 miles an hour, then you've got to understand you can't do it and you're never going to be able to pitch in the major leagues. But that's a talent thing. But trying to come up with a plan to fix the economy, which, by the way, why are they even having these meetings? Why is he talking about, try this, and we'll try that, we'll try this, we'll try that. And if it doesn't work, we'll quit. I thought he already had a plan. I thought in the campaign it was all done. I thought he had this thing called putting people first. It was just a matter of getting him in the White House. What's all this about anyway? And then when he says we must have the courage to quit, ooh, folks, I hope my kids someday don't see this and use this as a guidepost for their future. Now, and we're not going to let him forget he said it either. I mean, it's, you know, look at what we have here. We have Hillary saying, we just screwed these people. And now we've got him saying we must have the courage to quit. Maybe someday he'll be talking about his presidency. Is that okay, sir? Ooh. The guy in the audience is out there going. Okay, look. His wife's saying, he's just teasing, he's just teasing. All right, look, I got to take a break here. We come back, have some economic news. If I go into it now, we're going to go way over time. So be cool, be patient. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Here's an opportunity to receive a free copy of National Review's new 40-page report on the real Reagan record.
Hi, I'm Charlton Heston. I want to share something with you that's very important and especially enjoyable to me. Every other week, I get a magazine that gives me insights into current events and revelations about important issues I never get from other magazines. Certainly not from TV or radio. It's Bill Buckley's National Review.
My purpose in founding National Review was to provide an alternative to the single viewpoint commentary and news reporting that still afflict the media.
When you get National Review, you'll find it's informative, probing, challenging, and very entertaining. Call this toll-free number. We'll start your introductory subscription right now. Run through a few issues. If you don't like it, don't renew. It's not on many newsstands, so this may be your only chance to get a trial subscription.
Call this toll-free number now and we'll send you National Review's 40-page Real Reagan report free. For a trial subscription, call 1-800-942-6633.
Now Philips has captured some of the most educational and entertaining experiences imaginable on a new kind of compact disc called CD Interactive. With your TV, you can put your family in the center of the action. Capture the experience by calling for your free CD Interactive kit now. It's your introduction to this new world of TV entertainment. Call now and find out where to go for a free, no-obligation demonstration.
Yeah. All right.
And details about getting Compton's Interactive Encyclopedia disc free during our special offer period. So experience CD Interactive for yourself. All it takes is a call now to get big savings and more. Find out how to make your TV come alive. CD Interactive, the imagination machine. Another first from Philips. Call now for this dealer's special event date and location.
Bill Clinton, the courage to quit.
And welcome back. Welcome back. Clinton, the courage. I know what you're saying. You're saying, he didn't mean that. See, you're just taking him out of context. He didn't mean that. He said it, and we didn't take it out of context. We purposely left it in context. He was talking about all these magical plans that he wants these governors to try, these new experiments. And you don't quit something, you change it. You got to have the courage to change, but not quit. I mean, you don't quit. So no, we did not take it out of context. Now I want to talk about something serious. We have had a spate in the past week, but really since, I would say since November, mysteriously, right after the election. In fact, we have had just a run of good economic news. The only economic news that's not good right now is unemployment. And that's going to come. That's going to get good because all the other economic news is good. And what is it that drives the economy? It is work. And what do you need for work? You need people to have jobs, and it's in jobs where work is done. So that's going to happen. Now, there have been, just today, there have been two statistics that have come out that have just floored people. One, both of them are for December. The leading index of economic indicators, or the index of leading economic indicators, up 1.9%. And I think that is the high, that's the best in 10 years, December. That's great news. Leading economic indicators. Then housing starts in December, 6.3%. Now let's show you the whole housing starts history. By the way, can I point, look at that, would you look at that house that we're using? I don't know, why are we using such a shack-looking house? That looks like the shack that I used to live in Kansas City, except mine only had one garage and the door wouldn't open. Is this somebody on our staff's house and they're just trying, hey, that's my house on TV? I'm sorry for calling it a shack. It's not a shack. Go ahead and put it back up there, Chet. We're waiting. There it is. Well, let's get a picture of Mar-a-Lago. Let's get Trump's place down in Palm Beach or something for the future. No, wait a minute. Go back. Go back. Well, never leave. Oh, good. It's magic. 6.3% in December of this year. Here's for the year. Housing starts for the year. Voila. 18.5%. I thought this was a doom and gloom economy. I thought we had no chance. Let's go on. Let's take a look at Canada for the year. Only 7.7% in housing starts. Let's take a look at Japan. Why, everybody says we got to be more like Japan. Uh-oh. Only up 2.4%. Leading economic indicators way up, housing starts way up. How can this be? That is a great question. And I want to talk to you about this from the standpoint of something I'm very troubled about, and that is I look at all of these polls that ABC and CBS and newspapers are taking and asking the American people, what do you expect from Bill Clinton? What do you expect from this new administration? 75, 80%. I expect a job. I expect health care. I expect this. There are far too many people turning to the government for their answers in life, for their prosperity, for their happiness or whatever. Government's never provided that. That idea doesn't work. It's been tried and tried around the world. It's been tried here. It doesn't work. Why are these numbers back? Can Bill Clinton's policies be the reason? No, there aren't any Bill Clinton policies. And during the time that these numbers were shooting up, Bill Clinton was saying, it's not good. I don't see any objective evidence that there's anything good out there. And he was saying that, if you'll recall, because he wanted it to be bad so that he could get in there and tinker and actually do something. So what's driving these numbers? You. Rugged individualism. Apparently, the American people are simply engaging in commerce. They're building homes, they're borrowing money, they're buying things or what have you. And all of these economic indicators, they don't lie. Remember all those people who said, boy, the news is going to be a lot worse once this election's over. The Bush administration's been hiding it. Where are you people now? The point here is that government policy doesn't affect this stuff. You do. The American people living their lives, investing in yourselves. That's what's causing all this to happen. And the big lesson here is, don't rely on a government policy. Don't wait for a government policy. Don't wait for some economic plan that's still smoke and mirrors. They're nowhere near having an economic plan, and yet all of these numbers continue to go up. Rugged individualism is blamed these days. It's called greed, it's called selfish, it's called cruel, it's called cold-hearted, and that's not what rugged individualism is. Rugged individualism built this country. And as I look around, it seems to be a creeping wave sweeping over this country of more and more people thinking they don't have a shot at it unless the government does something for them. And these numbers disprove that. We don't need a bunch of people from academia with their sleeves rolled up, tinkering with theories. And they can't say that their policies have brought this about. Now, there's one other bit of news, too. But first, let me show you what D.D. Myers, the presidential spokesman, said today about all this good news. Show us that, Chet. Read along with me. Obviously, all this is good news, but there's still no job recovery, no growth in the manufacturing sector. Let's show the headline from the New York Post today. Manufacturing growth surged to 4-year high. Now, let me read this. U.S. manufacturing expanded in January to the healthiest level in 4.5 years, marked by surging production and the biggest growth in new orders since 1983. I mean, they don't even know that manufacturing's come back. They're sitting there trying to come up with economic policies, and the president's spokesman says, yeah, but we still don't see any manufacturing growth. Well, right here it is. And it's all happening without government policy, folks. And that's the main thing that you need to take away from all this. There's also news out there about, there's an impending trade war coming. I don't know if you know this or not. Just last week, the steel industry succeeded in getting massive increases in tariffs on imported steel. And now a whole bunch of businesses, like the auto guys, you remember that meeting down in Little Rock where they came out smiling after the meeting with Clinton? They're now asking for import tariff increases, like up to 1,000%, $1,000 on certain kinds of cars. They're trying to limit competition. They're trying to freeze out competition from foreign markets. Not good for the consumer. That happens and prices go up. Jobs will come because there's work to be done, and everybody says, what about IBM? They're laying people off. Where am I going to work? They're laying people off because other companies have got the job. Other companies have gotten the work. Other companies have taken over where IBM's left off. This stuff is all going to work out, folks. There's going to be jobs because there's work that needs to be done. Learn this lesson. I've got a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go away.
Don't miss the bus. If you want a great travel bargain, go Greyhound. Plan ahead and you'll save 50% off our everyday low fares. That's half price anywhere we go. These special Greyhound fares are good on every seat, every bus, every day. To over 1,700 places. So if you want some great deals on travel, don't miss the bus. Get Greyhound's 50% off fares. Don't miss the bus, don't miss the bus.
Weight Watchers presents Stir Fry. 7 sizzling entrees. All the taste of the wok without the work, without the guilt. Stir Fry from Weight Watchers.
Total indulgence, 0 guilt.
Why do I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus over the leading cold pill?
They only relieve congestion, but Alka-Seltzer Plus is so tough it relieves sore throats, sneezing, headaches, even body aches.
That's why I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. It's tough medicine.
You still don't have cable TV? Well, there's never been a better time to order than right now. Cable is 24-hour news. Total sports coverage. Cable is in tune, in touch, and it gets better with the uncut, commercial-free entertainment of the premium channels. HBO. Showtime. Cinemax. The movie channels. Get installation for only $4.95 when you subscribe to cable and premium TV. That's right, $4.95. So call 1-800-OK-CABLE now to order. Don't miss out on all the excitement. It's your last chance. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE today. Cable TV with the premium channels. Don't miss a beat.
Is Dylan's father after his money?
Can't Dylan see he's just being calm?
You think I'm gonna rip you off? I don't know.
Tonight at 8 on Fox 5.
Day 2 of the trial that should have happened. The people versus Amy Fisher. The defense.
I had an affair with a married man.
Did Amy act alone?
Joey knew of my intentions.
The people versus Amy Fisher continues as Amy takes the stand.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 5 New York.
Bill Clinton, the courage to quit.
I'll tell you what, we're buying a lot of time on this show. All right, now, I promised this last night, we didn't get to it, so I've got to get it in tonight. Al Sharpton running for the United States Senate, his first campaign speech. Take a look.
If I had any question, it was asked when I saw Bill Clinton cross us in Haiti, and not one person stood in the Senate and questioned him on an outright request on foreign policy.
He is right, ladies and gentlemen. He is absolutely right. I never thought I'd be agreeing with Senator Sharpton. But he's right. He's absolutely right. If it had been Bush and this Haiti thing would have happened, good Lord, there'd be protesters everywhere. I know that. Now, the Reverend Jackson has threatened something this weekend. He says the Haitians are coming if Clinton doesn't go down there and do something, and here's what he thinks we ought to do in Haiti. Listen to this.
Here's a country as small as Haiti with 8,000 troops with no military threat. They only use those troops to kill other Haitians. About 80% of that army should be disbanded. We should take up our weapons, disarm them, put those young men on payroll, and train them to rebuild Haiti's infrastructure, its roads, its bridges, its sewers, teach them to read and write, turn those warring forces into development forces.
Do you hear that? He is urging a military takeover of Haiti. He wants us to go down and teach them how to read. I mean, it's incredible, folks, and nobody calls him on this except us, and we're out of time. See ya. Adios.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following. Rush Limbaugh's Wardrobe by Rochester, big and tall.
If your old cards can't cut it anymore, get a new deck of bicycle cards, because your reputation is on the table.
You want regular Swiss cheese with all that fat, cholesterol, sodium, and calories? No. I'm giving you Alpine Lace Swiss Low because I care how you and you eat.
For tickets to the Rush Limbaugh Show, call 212-397-7367, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Tonight at 8, it's Beverly Hills 90210. Then at 9 on Melrose Place, Billy's relationship is starting to heat up, but it's making Allison burning mad. That's all tonight, beginning at 8 on Fox 5.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Rush's TV show for only $24.95, just call 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. For a transcript, send $5 to Burrell's Transcripts, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039, or call 1-800-777-TEXT.
Tonight, Jodie Foster with the bizarre story of how she met co-star Richard Gere.
He and I were in bed together.
Tonight on Fox 5.
Your daughter, your friend, your spouse. If you have cataracts or glaucoma, the New York Eye Surgery Center invites you to bring a companion along to the examination, and we'll send a car to pick you up and take you home. Call 1-800-888-1717. Depending on your insurance, the surgery may cost you nothing. 1-800-888-1717.
The Simpsons and the Golden Girls, only on Fox 5.
They say they can help turn your dream into big bucks, but Inside Edition Steve Wilson shows how much a good idea can cost you.
Tonight at 7:30 on Fox 5.
The Jefferson Awards, they symbolize...
And frankly, as I described to them, bad behavior, bad judgment. And what do you get from that, middle school students or high school students? You get consequences. No, I don't hide the fact that the president did wrong. And one thing that I didn't finish on the leadership question, it is someone who was able to look...
Hong Kong, where there's a lot of nefarious...
Tonight on Hannity and Combs, we're on the road from the John Cranford Adams Playhouse at Hofstra University on Long Island, New York. Do the American people want the president impeached? We'll find out.
We'll be joined by former advisor to President Clinton, Dick Morris, former advisor to Paula Jones, Susan Carpenter McMillan, Newsweek contributing editor Eleanor Clift, and New York's Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCoy Ross.
Our debates are 2 minutes away. But first, let's get the latest headlines from the Fox News Desk.
Fox News Now, I'm Lauren Green. It's nighttime, but a few hours to high noon at the Mideast Summit site in eastern Maryland. The Israelis made it so with an ultimatum. They'll leave the talks and the U.S. at 2 a.m. Eastern Time unless there's progress. Israel demands the extradition of Palestinians accused of murdering Israelis and that the PLO drop its charter clauses that call for destruction of the Jewish state. And Fox's Rita Cosby reports Israeli journalists and some official members of the delegation have already left for Andrews Air Force Base. Lawyers for the White House and the House Judiciary Committee sat at the same table today, but seemed miles apart. Clinton's team claims the committee's impeachment investigation will move too slowly and use charges too vague to be fair to the president. But the committee staff rejects that argument.
The real question is, what are the facts? Now, the White House and the committee Democrats want us to do this. Stop the inquiry now, dead in its tracks, and engage in a theoretical discussion about the definition of high crimes and misdemeanors.
Committee Chairman Henry Hyde says he hopes to complete the investigation by the new year. John Glenn apparently doesn't have the right stuff for everything NASA wanted. The space agency dropped the 77-year-old from an experiment on the effects of melatonin on sleep in space. Glenn took the hormone twice, and doctors found something that now excludes him from taking it in space. NASA won't elaborate, citing privacy regulations. Our next update is at the bottom of the hour. Coming up, what will it take to put an end to the Paula Jones case? Hannity and Combs is on the road at Hofstra University in New York, and they will ask her friend and advisor, Susan Carpenter McMillan. Stay with us.
Tonight, Hannity and Combs are on the road. Coming to you from the John Cranford Adams Playhouse on the campus of Hofstra University on Long Island in New York. The audience is jam-packed with students, faculty, and hundreds of faithful viewers who have come out to join in tonight's debate. Does the American public want William Jefferson Clinton impeached? Sean and Alan will be joined by former advisor to President Clinton and Fox News political analyst Dick Morris, former advisor to Paula Jones, Susan Carpenter McMillan, Newsweek contributing editor and Fox News political analyst Eleanor Clift, and the Lieutenant Governor of New York State, Betsy McCoy Ross.
And welcome to the special edition of Hannity and Combs. I'm Sean Hannity.
And I'm Alan Combs.
All right, let's get right to it. Eleanor Clift, welcome aboard. Good to see you.
Here.
Let's talk about Greg Craig. He's the president's special counsel. You know, we've been through this whole thing for 9 months, and here he is claiming the president of the United States has been entrapped. We had you were on our program, and you said you agreed with him. And my question to you is, who entrapped the president into this relationship with a 21-year-old intern? Who entrapped him to lie before a grand jury? And who entrapped him to lie under oath in the Paula Jones case in the judicial proceeding? How was that entrapment?
Nobody entrapped him into the relationship, but it is a relationship that was made criminal because of unethical and inappropriate collusion between the attorneys for Paula Jones and Ken Starr, the special prosecutor. That is where the element of entrapment is.
Here's my other follow-up question, and I'll let the audience respond. How do you entrap the truth? You can't entrap somebody when they tell the truth. It's impossible. It doesn't exist.
First of all, I want to say I really appreciate the audience, which is not at all representative of public opinion in this country.
Maybe this is the real America right here. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
It's the same real America that reelected George Bush in 1992.
Yeah, well, we made a mistake with
Bill Clinton won the presidency twice.
Right.
And there are 45 million people in this country who voted for him and who want him to continue his term.
It was a big mistake. I agree.
Well, it may be a mistake for you, but you're outnumbered, Sean. You're outnumbered.
All right, Susan Carpenter McMillan, let me run to you here. Could you have imagined, and I bring this up both on radio and TV all the time, if we go back a year ago and we say, Susan Carpenter McMillan, we're going to have a president that recklessly has sex with a 21-year-old intern repeatedly, goes on national television, wags his finger in our face, denies it for
crooked.
8 solid, crooked. 8 solid months, lies in a deposition of your friend, Paula Jones, lies before the grand jury, and there's any chance of survival, I would have mortgaged my house and I would have taken that bet. It said it was impossible.
You know, Sean, I think that's why I'm so energized tonight, because what bothers me more is not the president's behavior. I mean, you know, he's a jerk. But what really bothers me is the behavior and the acceptance.
He's always shy.
You know, there's nothing like a little name-calling for people on the opposite side of the political spectrum, huh, Susan?
Well, now wait. Let me answer my question, Alan. Don't start interrupting this early in the show. I go back and I think of Ronald Reagan, who wouldn't even take his coat off in 103-degree weather. Because he sat in the Oval Office, and now we have a president that you know does what in the Oval Office, and the carpet cleaners are in there every other day. I mean, it is unbelievable.
All right, Susan,
what
first
it has
of all,
come to.
this guy has created jobs for carpet cleaners, so you should be very happy about that.
Well, that's true. And cigar stores. You're right, Alan.
And for lawyers. Now listen, Paula Jones, by the way, Eleanor, don't insult these people. I graduated from this school, so.
Okay. It wasn't an insult. It was just stating their political preferences, which they're doing quite clearly on their own.
Conservatives should be allowed.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the Clinton town meetings. You know, where everybody knows who is what.
No, I think it's good that conservatives be allowed out in public. I think it's a good step. Now listen,
that's right, because Clinton never left.
Susan, let's talk about a settlement, potential settlement. What can you tell us about that? There's all this talk about a settlement. What are you advising Paula Jones to do?
Well, Paula, I think very fairly has asked for $1 million. I don't think it should be $999.99. I think that $1 million makes a strong statement. Coupled with the money that Hirschfeld will give her, she's still $600,000 short to pay a lawyer.
Isn't this the same Paula Jones who went on and on for years about how this wasn't about money?
Oh, well, no, actually, Actually, this is the same Paula Jones that, number one, just asked for an apology to set the record straight and no money.
And all of a sudden, no apology.
Wait a minute. This is the same Paula Jones who did nothing to have the pit bulls without their parvo shots unleashed on her. This is the same Paula Jones that sat there and looked across the table at a president as she watched him lie before a federal judge, and he didn't even have the guts to turn once in 8 hours and look
You know what?
You know,
And you
Susan,
think...
you've got your act down pretty good. But, you know, there are some
it
facts
comes from my heart.
There are some facts involved here, and in fact, well, such as, how do the Joneses support themselves? Neither of them work at this point.
All right,
I'm curious about that. Yes.
Well, first of all, it's none of your business.
Well, don't answer.
Since I would probably ask that if I was on your side, to be very blunt, they're down to about $3,000 or $4,000 because the people you support have stripped them of everything. They have a one-bedroom apartment with 2 children. You try having 4 people live in a little tiny one-bedroom apartment.
There are ads in the newspapers. People can't
We
get
got to
jobs.
take a break. When we come back, we'll find out what this wonderful audience thinks. We're live on the road at Hofstra University.
Here's a question for you. Hofstra University is the practice home for the New York Jets football team. What Hofstra grad plays for them? We'll be back with the answer in a little bit.
For an enjoyable weekend, avoid things like alarm clocks. Instead, grab a big Grand Cinnamon Roll.
What better way to unwind than by enjoying a hot, fresh Grand Cinnamon Roll?
They're not just big, they're grands. Woohoo!
My mom's a big person. Fire me. My dad has this real important job with this big fancy office where he's the boss. He always eats lunch at these big fancy restaurants. And after he's done saving the world, we go home and play. I'd give him a 10. I drew a picture of you.
The 1999 Camry. Even heroes need a car.
At Cigna, we care about people who have babies. We care about companies that make steel and about companies that make bread. We care about life and about all that makes life great or possible or just better. At Cigna, we care because it is our business to care. But we also care because, well, we have babies too. Cigna, a business of caring.
The coffee brewing in this pot is America's best-loved coffee.
As long as liberty is alive and well.
Nearly 4,000 of us have marched from the city.
As long as lighthouses shine. And there are lessons to be learned. Just as long as the tide turns, Maxwell House will always be good to the last drop.
Of all the things we might put honey in, the best may be new Honey Cough. Introducing the first line of cough drops and cough syrup combining effective medicine with real honey to relieve even the worst coughs. New Honey Cough, a natural choice for coughs from the makers of Robitussin.
On November 3rd, more than 12,000 people will be looking for just one thing: your vote. Before you decide, we'll report.
History Judge Bill Clinton, I'll ask History Channel host and Washington reporter during Watergate, Roger Mudd, plus another TV veteran weighs in on Clinton's fate, former Good Morning America co-host Joan London, tonight on The Cryer Report.
All right, we're back, and the question was, what former Hofstra graduate currently plays for the New York Jets football team? Well, the answer is it's former sociology major Wayne Quebec. Take care.
Welcome back to our special live edition of Hannity and Combs from Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. And we have a few hundred of our special friends here tonight joining us. Susan Carpenter McMillan, let's talk about some of the ways Paula Jones has changed her story over the months. Paula Jones has changed her story a number of different times. For example, one of the things she said in her deposition versus her sworn complaint. She denied knowing that she received a promotion from grade 9 to 11 just 2 months before the alleged incident. She denied knowing that she'd received step increases. She admitted that she had left state employment because her husband wanted to move to California and not for any other reason. This directly contradicted her sworn statement in her civil complaint, in which she stated that she left state employment because she was transferred to a dead-end job. She all of a sudden claimed sexual aversion toward the very end of this. Why did she change her story?
Somewhere in there, you're just going to speak the whole time.
It's a question that I hope you'll answer. Why did she?
I'm teasing. I give Alan such a bad time. I'm sorry.
Well, you're good friends.
I mean,
we're good friends. I love him.
Look, I know that the conservatives like to do that. Now, why did she change her story so many times?
Well, she didn't change her story.
Those are all consistencies?
Well, she changed lawyers.
Oh, I see.
No, wait a minute.
So the lawyers changed the story.
No. Alan.
So
you see, what you don't... let me answer it now. What you don't understand, Alan, is when someone like your boy in the White House gets it in his mind to tell a story, it's the same thing time and time and time again.
Oh, you mean consistency?
But when people are accused of that before, people are telling the truth, many times if a lawyer will ask, what time did you come in? And you'll have 2 o'clock. The next lawyer will say, and what were you wearing? I was wearing a blue dress. Well, why didn't you put that when the first lawyer asked that? Because the second lawyer asked it, not the first.
I want to help you out here.
You're helping me out? I'm not doing a good job, am I?
As if Bill Clinton didn't change his story. You know, he was never alone with Monica Lewinsky. You know, we're so outraged about that. I mean, but then again, we were never we were alone, but I never really thought we were. He actually said that in a deposition. So I want to go.
I thought the questioning was about Paula Jones.
Well, Paula Jones. Well, I want to.
Alan was on a roll there, and I'd like it to continue.
All right, let me answer. Number one, she never changed her story.
Oh, well, why did you just call what I just said?
Never, ever changed her story, Alan.
The lawyer did it.
No, she did not. When lawyers came on and asked her different questions, and I'll give you a prime example. Her second group of lawyers, Davis and Camarado, never asked her to go see to go see a psychologist, and she could not afford it. When the new team of lawyers came on, and Bennett made a big thing about that today, when they sent her to a psychologist, Bennett did what you did. Oh, now she goes to a psychologist.
Let me move.
She could never afford to do it, so nothing changes.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question, Eleanor. I want to know.
Came up with that. Wait a minute. She never came up with that, first of all. That is something that
was the lawyers and the psychologist?
No, the psychologist came. Believe me, she was just as shocked about that.
When we come back, I want to talk about the deafening silence of the feminist movement as it relates to this whole issue, because there's an update about that. So we got to take a break. We'll come back.
This program is brought to you by Puerto Rico, USA. Puerto Rico puts it within your reach.
I'm Arthur Fromer, the travel writer, and I am filming this report on October 4, 1998, from Puerto Rico. You've heard varying reports about the impact of Hurricane George, but I've toured the island's major resorts, and most are in full operation with their restaurants, beaches, and swimming pools active and alive. Why not join me?
Call your travel agent or American Airlines Vacations now.
Here's your Pop-Tart, Anthony.
Thanks, Mom.
Here comes Pillsbury Toaster Strudel. They taste better than Pop-Tarts. With our do-it-yourself icing, real juicy fruit filling, and flaky pastry, what would you do to get one? Pillsbury Toaster Strudel. Something better just popped up.
Boundaries. From the very beginning, we have resented them. So what happens? Some of us grow up to be business people. And what do we face? More boundaries. The Telecommunications boundaries that separate local from long distance, voice from data, domestic from global, and force you to accept separate carriers, separate networks, a blizzard of bills.
But there is a way through those barriers, right through here.
The port of entry to a seamless global network that lets you have one carrier, one contact, one bill. And makes it seem as though the old boundaries no longer exist.
Because for you, they won't.
OnNet from MCI WorldCom.
Is that in 1934, America was swinging, and Helms Brothers was swinging open its doors. In the 50s, some wacky ideas were going around, and the Helms idea of customer satisfaction was going strong. In the 70s, disco was king, and Helms Brothers continued to treat customers like royalty. Today, you can still experience this commitment to service that has attracted customers for generations. 64 years of customer satisfaction and counting. Helms Brothers, Northern Boulevard, Bayside.
Here's the choice for Attorney General. Elliot Spitzer, who repeatedly said fighting crime is not the Attorney General's job because
I'm a pragmatic liberal.
Or Dennis Vacco. Dennis Vacco tripled criminal prosecutions and helped pass new laws to protect our children and nursing home patients from abuse. Now New York leads the nation in reducing violent crime. It's a clear choice. Attorney General Dennis Vacco, proven crime fighter.
Hannity and Combs, we're glad you're all with us. We're live on we're here on the campus of Hofstra University. All right, now we have some news. Earlier this week, they released some of the materials in the Paula Jones case. And among those things, in a filing in this past January, Clinton's attorneys, Bob Bennett, told the court that they had testimony from a man who alleged he had sex with Paula Jones in a car in a bar parking lot, and that how she initiated another type of sex on this particular guy here. And I'm thinking about this. First of all, they denied that they would use these type of tactics on Paula Jones. Then, in fact, behind closed doors, they're doing it. But the question is, the deafening silence on the part of the feminist movement in this country, Eleanor Clift. You know, it seems that as long as Bill Clinton supports abortion and a left-wing agenda, that they're not going to crucify him. The feminists will overlook the things that they crucified Clarence Thomas and Bob Packard for. The silence has been deafening.
First of all, the tactics used on both sides were supposed to be kept under seal, and they have been under seal up to this point. I think the tactics on both sides are pretty smarmy. The Paula Jones side wanted to subpoena Clinton's lawyers and have, descriptions of his private parts. I mean, I think that's over the line as well. Secondly, feminists are not opposed to consensual sex. If this were a Republican president and feminists were out there condemning the president, you would be saying that feminists are trying to criminalize sex.
Susan, I want to give you a chance. Rape shield laws, though, Susan Carpenter McMillan. I mean, he signed these laws himself, that you don't bring up the sexual past of these women, and his attorneys did the exact same things, and it was released this Monday.
You're right, but the story gets even filthier and dirtier. Number one, Paula Jones was not consensual. Paula Jones was assaulted with a weapon.
I wasn't finished answering.
Secondly, I will tell you, this person that they said they had, there was supposed to be 5 of them. 5. None of them appeared. None of them had ever met Paula. But the White House went out and sent this dirty, filthy rumor out, and then they didn't materialize.
We're going to go to our audience here. I mean, I guess that's all part of the Clinton scorched earth policy.
Well, wait a second. Paula Jones opened the door to this by claiming that her good reputation was damaged. And in the legal world, she opened the door to having her reputation
I'll tell you what, let's go to our audience.
And later withdrew that account because she didn't want her reputation.
What's your question, comment?
Yes, my name is Joe Bluter. I'm from Levittown, New York. My question is, the president was so, he always took the credit for how well the economy was doing in the past few years. Now it's on a decline. Is he going to accept the blame for it?
Well, I think the Republicans, when they balance the budget, deserve the credit, but I'll give him the blame. Eleanor?
That's about as fair as you can get, I guess, Sean. You know, whoever is in the White House gets the credit and gets the blame. We're having some rocky times right now in the stock market, but
There's only up 200.
We've got a very prosperous
It's only
economy.
up a couple of hundred points
still
today.
Getting credit, right?
Sir, you've got a question. Go ahead.
Good evening, panel. My name is Dino Millis. I'm here representing the good people of a town called Marshall's Creek in the 10th District of Pennsylvania. I'm an honors graduate of the philosophy department of this university. I'm a Republican who plans on voting straight Democrat this November. Excuse me, rude people. Rude people, excuse me. I'm also an ASCAP songwriter and music publisher, and I thank Fox Network for allowing me the chance.
Let him speak.
How about shut up?
Sir, what is your question? Go ahead.
My question is...
Go ahead.
Right on, brother. My question is, does the panel agree, as I believe, that the president was set up from the very start? Excuse me.
All right, let him finish.
You'll get your turn, maybe.
Finish your question.
Go ahead, sir.
And how long do you think before Kenneth Starr is disbarred and made to pay restitution for what he's done to this country, if not publicly horsewhipped with his buddy Newt Gingrich?
All right, thank you for the question.
Sir, what about that? Susan? You know.
I would be.
Hold on. Okay. You know.
I will be.
Susan.
All right, Susan.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward.
I would like to at least answer part of his question.
Look, Kent Starr has run up an incredible amount of money. Our taxpayer dollars are going for this investigation. That's never going to end.
Alan,
Gore will be president, and we'll still be paying for it.
All right, Alan, I have to tell you, the one thing that just drives me crazy about your side is that you never take responsibility for anyone. It's always someone else's fault. Always. Now, the prosecutor's at fault?
Yes, it is.
Dear God, this is like O.J. Simpson saying that Mark Furman did it.
Susan.
Did you learn from Johnny Cochran?
You know
this
what?
is unbelievable.
You know what? I like driving you crazy. I like driving you crazy. I'm doing my job if I'm driving you crazy. Now, Susan.
Ken Starr did it, folks.
I want to get...
Ken Starr and Monica have had a sexual relationship for the last 20 years, and he sent her in.
Ken Starr has 2 separate investigations looking into his tactics. He spent 4.5 years looking into Whitewater, Filegate, Travelgate, and has not had the
We don't know.
courage.
We don't know.
He has not had the courage to come forward and say,
Susan, I want to get back to something. Susan, I want to get back to this issue about looking into Paula Jones's past. We look into Bill.
You can look into it all you want because you don't find anything. The thing that I find the most offensive.
Answer this question.
I will, Alan, but just let me make a statement. The thing that I find the most offensive.
Well, I'm getting to you.
If I went out and said, Alan, we're going to question you about all the rapes you committed.
Oh, you mean
never committed
like
a rape.
they did to Bill Clinton?
No. But you never committed a rape, and that's exactly what they did to Paula Jones.
Your side has tortured...
On the other side...
Let me ask you a question. Your side has tortured this president.
I want to get this in.
Tortured the sexual abuser?
Eleanor, we're almost out of time, and I'm listening to Alan bring up this thing about how much the money costs. We waited 8 months for this man to finally tell us the truth. I mean, are we really that concerned about the money? All right, Eleanor, final thought.
If this affair had never been uncovered, and it was uncovered
thank God we found
after
out.
it was over for many months, the Republic would be none the worse for wear. Ken Starr has ruined his own reputation. He will never be named to the Supreme Court.
Eleanor Cliff Glatz, the last word. Susan Carpenter McMillan. When we come back, former presidential advisor Dick Morris also will be joined by the Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCoy Ross. Stay with us.
What do I want? I want to know I'm headed in the right direction. I want to keep my options open. I do want to take care of my family. I want to give something back. I want to learn, find what's right for me, be ready for anything. make the right choices. I want to find the people who can get me there.
American Express Financial Advisors can help you decide what you want to do and how to get there.
I want to say I made a difference. I want to do more.
I have the cleanest and nicest smelling toilet in the neighborhood.
Since I started using Vanish hang-ins, the toilet bowl stayed completely clean. The fact that it delivers bleach to the bowl is terrific.
My scrubbing days are over.
Real easy to use.
Drop the tablet in the dispenser, hang it on the side of the tank.
Boom, you're done.
Vanish hang-ins deliver more bleach to your bowl than Clorox.
There's no stains.
No scrubbing. No rings, like magic. Ta-da!
Vanish hang-ins. More bleach to the bowl.
If anybody doesn't believe me, ring my doorbell and you can smell my toilet.
A friendly reminder from Grand Cinnamon Rolls.
For an enjoyable weekend, avoid things like message pads. And of course, alarm clocks. Instead, grab a big Grand Cinnamon Roll.
What better way to unwind after a long week than by enjoying a hot, fresh Grand Cinnamon Roll? Now with richer, more homemade taste. They'll make you forget that Monday is...
Well, let's just forget about Monday. They're not just big, they're Grands.
This year, the colors of fall are brown, red, yellow, and at your Buick dealer, lots of green. Because right now, during Buick's Fall Collection event, we've got great deals like 0.9% APR financing on every 1998 Buick in stock, or cash back savings of up to $3,000. So come in and see our Fall Collection. But hurry, because when the 98 Buicks are gone, the Buick Fall Collection will be too.
Experience the power.
December 4th, 1965, Gemini 7.
Mission, the effects of an extended space flight.
November 11th, 1966, Gemini 12.
Mission, the spacewalk.
December 21st, 1968, Apollo 8.
Mission, first manned orbit of the moon.
April 11th, 1970, Apollo 13.
Destination, the moon.
Houston, we've had Apollo. For Fox News Channel, I'm Jim Lovell.
The power of experience.
Fox News Now, I'm Joy Demandin. It's coming down to make or break time at the Mideast summit. The Israelis are threatening to go home at 2 a.m. Eastern time unless the Palestinians meet their security demands. They include the extradition of Palestinians accused of killing Israelis. Already, Israeli journalists and some officials have packed up and headed for the airport. Kenneth Starr is turning up the heat again on Bill Clinton buddy Webster Hubbell. In federal appeals court, the independent counsel said there's evidence Hubbell committed obstruction of justice. And Starr argued that a previously dismissed tax evasion case against Hubbell should be reinstated. Folks in the Lone Star State are scrambling to get out of the way of floodwaters. At least 22 people have died, 5 are still missing. Damage from weekend floodings already estimated at $400 million.
We saw people's homes that were not really on the riverbank, where the water had gone over their roofs and just exploded their houses and destroyed all their possessions. It's a tough scene up and down the Texas rivers.
And the Texas governor announced today that federal aid is on the way. The lawyer for Whitewater figure Susan McDougal is demanding a mistrial in her California embezzlement case. A prosecutor has admitted hiding federal grand jury transcripts from the defense. McDougal is accused of embezzling money from conductor Zubin Mehta and his wife. China is using ice to warm relations with Vietnam. China is showing off its famous ice sculptures in Hanoi as part of a cultural exchange program. For Vietnamese visitors, the freezing temperatures in the exhibition hall are their first taste ever of real cold. Our next update is at the top of the hour. Coming up, what will Bill Clinton's troubles mean on Election Day? A special Hannity and Combs is next.
Tonight, Hannity and Combs are on the road at the John Cranford Adams Playhouse on the campus of Hofstra University on Long Island, New York. With a formal impeachment inquiry looming and Election Day less than 2 weeks away, will the Clinton scandal lead to a Republican stronghold in the House and Senate, or will a backlash send Democrats to the polls in a fighting mood?
Let's get back to our debate. Welcome. Good to have you here. We are now joined by Dick Morris, former advisor to President Clinton, and Betsy McCoy-Ross, Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York.
Ellen, I think they think this is Jay Leno.
It may be. Dick, you have a column in the New York Post this week. Is Clinton's history repeating itself. He seemed to be bouncing back in '94 too, but disaster struck. You've talked about secret police. You've said all kinds of things. I thought Bill Clinton was your friend. What happened? Did you turn on him?
You should see what I do to my enemies.
Oh, my God.
Why, Dick?
Is this what being a friend of Dick Morrison is all about?
You know, I got a phone call from Clinton on October 25th, 1994. And he said, you know, I just came back from the Middle East. I got this treaty between Jordan and Israel. I've taken care of Haiti without a single loss of life. My ratings are 10 points higher than they've ever been. I think we've gotten over the disaster of the congressional session where Hillary's health care reform went down. Where do you think I should campaign? And I said, I think you should go back to the Middle East. And he said, why? And I said, because when you're out campaigning, you're a stump politician, you lose all the aura that you picked up as a result of these triumphs. And I think that what's about to happen is that he'll go out and campaign, because he can't help himself. He loves it too much. He'll go out and campaign. The voters will no longer see the statesman of the Camp David thing. They'll no longer see the statesman of Kosovo. They'll see a politician hawking votes, and the Republicans are going to win big in November.
I'm glad you raised this issue, Dick, because this election is a referendum on whether or not the American people want to see their president impeached and removed from office. And Sean?
That's your audience. I don't want to say anymore.
Clearly we have a very partisan house here tonight.
No.
But the fact is...
No.
Right?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me add a question.
Wait a second, Sean.
Okay.
I say to the American people who are watching, if you want to protect all of the American people, if you want to protect the nation from impeachment, do not elect Republicans to Congress and the United States Senate.
We're almost out of time. Hang on a second. I got to get it. Hang on. Even Mike McCurry today said the president was exasperatingly stupid. Christopher Dodd called the president. So, you know, I have come to the... Wait,
what did Dodd say?
He called him an idiot.
Hey, let me hold on. Yeah. Chris Dodd of the Human Sandwich is criticizing Clinton?
All right. Well, you brought it up, not me. But you know, so I've determined that Bill Clinton, when you look, sometimes we get a little myopic, but when we gain any objectivity, Bill Clinton's been the best thing that's ever happened to the Republican Party. Since he has been elected, the Republicans have gained 50 House seats. First time they've had control in 40 years. They've gained 11 seats in the Senate, 13 governorships, and they've gained state houses all over the country. So maybe we should keep them there. I don't know. It's the best thing that's ever happened to them.
President Clinton's actions and lies are deplorable, but they don't justify impeachment.
Well,
that's reserved.
All right, let me answer this question.
That is reserved for actions that threaten the welfare and security of the nation, not for.
Well, let me ask this question, because wait. This comes up all the time. I want to address this because his own Justice Department prosecuted people for perjury in civil cases that actually lied about sex. We've impeached 2 judges. Why? Because they perjured themselves. As we speak, there are 115 people.
Judges are appointed, not
all right, but the point is his own Justice Department going after... Well, maybe we should then indict him instead of impeach him. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's more appropriate.
We've got to take a break. We'll be right back. We will take some more questions from our audience here at Hofstra University on Hannity and Combs when we get back.
Hi, this is Hofstra grad created hits such as Godfather and Apocalypse Now. We'll be back with the answers shortly.
The coffee perking in this pot is America's best-loved coffee.
As long as liberty is alive and well.
Nearly 4,000 of us have marched from the city.
As long as lighthouses shine. And there are lessons to be learned. Just as long as the tide turns, Maxwell House will always be good to the last drop.
From the very beginning, you try to give your baby things you think they'll like, right down to those fancy, expensive diapers. But then you learn they decide what they like.
I love you.
And you decide on Loves. They cost less, but they're great on leaks. There's a leak guard guarantee on Loves. And now Barney's on Loves. In fact, he's everywhere. Hey, live and learn, and then get Loves.
Now look for Barney's Great Adventure on video everywhere. Loves just loves to be a part of it.
Hey, little brother, what you eating? Condensed soup. You know, chicken and stars used to be my favorite, and then I learned to ride a two-wheeler. Come on, you're an adult now. There's a better tasting soup, Progresso chicken noodle, with all white meat chicken, bigger veggies, and seasonings with some real zip. See the difference?
Good stuff.
There's hope for you yet. Now let's talk about this shirt.
What?
Discover the better taste of Progresso.
Introducing a must-read book about Florida that will simply take you away. In its pages, you'll find adventure, romance, wonder, and much more. To get your copy, call toll-free today. And after you've read about it, go live it.
Orlando. Orlando. Orlando.
Your smile's gonna show it. You'll never outgrow it. Orlando.
How will history judge Bill Clinton? I'll ask History Channel host and Washington reporter during Watergate, Roger Mudd. Plus, another TV veteran weighs in on Clinton's fate. Former Good Morning America co-host Joan London, tonight on The Cryer Report.
Will lower mortgage rates mean a lot more people buying home sweet homes? And just how low will mortgage rates go? The head of one of the nation's biggest home builders tonight on the Cavuto Business Report.
And we back. Which Hofstra graduated created hits such as Godfather and Apocalypse Now? Well, it was a former drama student, Francis Ford Coppola. Bye.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Sean Hannity. We're on the road. We're at Hofstra University, and we're glad you're with us. I want to go to Dick Morris here because Hillary Rodham Clinton was in New York yesterday. She's been in town before, along with the president in town. Why are they here? They're here to raise money for Chuck Schumer. It's very interesting, Dick. You've said this, and I don't. Yeah, okay. You know, here he is. This guy may sit. He's taken millions of dollars from the Clintons. If he wants the money, I say he should recuse himself if he ends up in the Senate. Look, otherwise, you say he's picking a jury.
Yeah. Look, I don't think Chuck Schumer or Alphonse D'Amato should recuse themselves if they're the senator during an impeachment. But I do say this.
Even if they're raising all that money?
Hillary and the president are not here to campaign for Schumer. Hillary is here to pick a jury.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Every single member of the House Judiciary Committee is running for
Hillary is a
re-election.
litigator. And she understands that you begin every litigation with picking a jury.
All right, Betsy McCoy, let me follow up on this. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
If he raises millions of dollars, it's a very tightly contested race. So he raises millions of dollars and pushes Chuck Schumer over the hump. God forbid he wins the race. Then he sits on the jury to impeach Bill Clinton. You're not going to say that $2 million doesn't help persuade him in his vote?
Let's not mislead the American public. Every single member of the Judiciary Committee is running for re-election. Every single one of them. Some are being supported by Republican leaders. Others are being supported by Democratic leaders.
But if the president raises millions of dollars, isn't there clearly an appearance of impropriety and a conflict of interest?
Not at all. What about Dick Armey and Newt Gingrich raising millions of dollars?
Well, but it's not the president doing that. That's in an election way. They may sit on the jury for him.
This is a highly partisan effort to remove a president from office.
Wait a second. Why are we surprised that the president and Hillary would come and campaign for Chuck Schumer, a Democratic candidate for the Senate? There's nothing surprising about that. That would be happening anyway.
He won't level with the American people.
It seems to me that Hillary and the president are ill-advised to try to make this election a referendum on impeachment, as Betsy suggested. Democrats are capable of some self-delusion, but to believe that the American people wait online for hours in the rain outside a voting booth to affirm a president's right to lie under oath is a little silly.
It is a referendum. It is a referendum on the impeachment of the president. And that's why Americans should understand very clearly when they go into that voting booth what they're doing, because if they support Republicans, if the Republicans pick up a half dozen seats in the Senate and a couple of dozen seats in the House, they will interpret it as a mandate to remove this president from office.
Just wait a second. You hear the bloodhounds, and you hear the people who want impeachment. You know that the American people, and yes, I'll use that phrase, the American people, some of whom are here tonight, don't want the president leaving office because he had oral sex in a consensual relationship. That is not a reason to have somebody leave the office of the president.
But Alan, the point, no, let me answer. Look, the point is that in the last analysis, the Republicans this year, the Republican voters, those folks out here, are going to vote like the president's on the ballot, because
we will pick it up there, Dick. Stay right there. By the way, not one person in our audience was polled, were you? We'll continue. Hannity and Combs at Hofstra University.
This program is brought to you by the makers of Advil Cold and Sinus, relief that goes right to your head.
Cars are now breaking the sound barrier. Serves are clocked at 140. We can travel 18,000 miles an hour into space. So how come pain relief isn't faster? Introducing Advil Liquid Gels, the first and only pain reliever in a faster-acting liquid-filled capsule that's gentle on your stomach. On tough pain, Advil Liquid Gels are stronger and faster than extra-strength Tylenol. Headaches to muscle aches. New Advil Liquid Gels. Advanced medicine for pain. Stronger and faster. Showtime.
It's up for big ass money. Ready for the money. Go, 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 go.
Kid, welcome to the big leagues. Introducing the new Energizer Advanced Formula. No battery lasts longer.
Al D'Amato is a recognized leader in the fight against breast cancer. He's fought for and won over $750 million for breast cancer research. And now he's bringing a new cancer research center to Long Island to find innovative ways to treat breast cancer patients. Chuck Schumer, he's missed over 100 votes this year, including important votes on breast cancer. Al D'Amato, he's always there, doing his job, getting it done.
Available on home video for the first time ever, Frank Sinatra's Concert for the Americas. This special 90-minute concert features Frank performing hits such as The Lady is a Tramp.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8.
This collection is destined to become a classic.
I've got you under my skin.
It's Sinatra at his finest.
Best is yet to come.
This is a must for all collectors.
Send in the clown.
Call now and receive this special companion video as a bonus. Portrait of an Album takes you behind the scenes and into the recording studio with Frank and an all-star cast.
For a limited time only, Sinatra's Concert for the Americas and Portrait of an Album are available for just $34.95. For Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, call 1-800-578-7242 or send check or money order today.
A reason to dance for joy? Then come see our newest baby, the Lexus RX 300 at Lexus of Smithtown. For the price of an ordinary sport utility, you could be driving a Lexus. The RX 300 will get your family dancing to a happy beat, combining the luxury and safety you expect from Lexus with more room than you ever expected in such a refined automobile. Don't miss special incentives on now at Lexus of Smithtown. Dance on in today.
Welcome back. We are at Hofstra University, my alma mater, although when I went to school here, I think there were more liberals who went here at the time.
At least two.
At least two. I was one. And we're with Dick Morris and Betsy McCoy-Ross, and we have real live people here to ask real live questions. And we can't hang up on you because you're right here. So go ahead, sir. Welcome, and glad you're here. Go ahead.
Jack Bova from Suffolk County, Long Island. Let me ask you, do you really think that the Republicans want to impeach Bill Clinton, or would it be to their best interest to continue to drag him through the mud rather than to run against a relatively squeaky clean Al Gore in the elections?
That's why he's going to stay in office.
He's absolutely.
That's why he's going to stay in office. Dick, what about that?
I've been saying this from the beginning. There are 55 people in the United States Senate that are committed to keeping Clinton in office, and they are called the Republicans. But they know that they're not going to get 67 Republican seats. They know that if they score a big win, which they will, they'll get about 60. And they know they're not going to get 7 Democrats to cross over. So what's going on now is a charade by the Republicans for the benefit of their political base. They're going to hold the hearings, they're going to vote impeachment, it's going to go to the Senate, and then they'll cut a deal.
So get used to
the only way that the Republicans can let their own constituency down easy is by proving to them that the Democrats blocked the impeachment. But the fact is, the Democrats would love to see Al Gore run and be on top, and the Republicans would love to have Clinton to bash for another 2 years.
And
that's what makes Washington
I want to ask
fun.
Betsy McCoy-Ross. Betsy, you are also on the Liberal ticket running for governor of New York. This is D'Amato country, it seems, here today. But doesn't Al D'Amato running for Senate have a responsibility to declare where he's going to vote should impeachment come up in the Senate, how he would act?
Absolutely,
he has a responsibility to do that.
I'm calling on Al D'Amato tonight to make it clear to the voters of New York State where he stands on this issue.
In his defense, I think Al D'Amato's been very judicious. Al D'Amato has said he's going to wait for the facts to come in, he's going to be impartial, and then he's going to go ahead and... That's what he said. Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, one other thing. Chuck Schumer voted to impeach Judge Walter Nixon in 1989. Why? Because Walter Nixon perjured himself. That reached the level of impeachment back then for him, but now he is protecting the guy who's raising all this money.
First of all,
you're getting
Al D'Amato has not made it clear what he considers an impeachable offense.
The only reason Schumer voted to impeach Judge Nixon is he had the wrong Nixon. And the second thing, is that D'Amato's not waiting for the information to come in; he's waiting for the returns to come in.
All right, let me. Well, that's probably true. But let me ask. I want to ask. I'll tell you what.
At least tell us how he defines.
How he's going to judge before the evidence.
What he defines as an impeachable offense.
I think lying under oath repeatedly is an impeachable offense. Let's go to our audience here. Sir, you are?
I'm Marty Timlin,
Hi,
Levittown, New York, and my question is for Dick Morris.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Morris, you have a reputation of being very good at what you do. I'm curious, do you have any regrets in that it was your strategy that helped give Bill Clinton 4 more years, considering the damage that's been done not only to the presidency itself, but also to the country through the...
There are 2 Bill Clintons who are holding office right now. There's the Sunday morning president and Saturday night Bill. I have no regrets for having helped the Sunday morning president get elected. He's done a pretty good job. But I didn't know that his real running mate was Saturday Night Bill.
All right, I want to ask Dick Morris. Look, I think one of the things Dick Morris has written about extensively, and we've had him on the show talking about this extensively, is a bigger issue. Let's put aside that he lied to every single one of us here in this room, and he lied under oath, and he's a serial perjurer.
Didn't lie to me.
Well, you're the only one.
Told me I didn't do it. They said I did, but I did do something, and I think I did so much I can't prove that I'm innocent.
That's true. You're the only one here.
Only one he didn't lie to.
But there's a bigger issue. There is a pattern of intimidation of any Clinton critic. You go through the list of women, and they all have a different story to tell, and I think some of the best columns you've ever written about Bill Clinton's secret police. Let's talk about where we stand with that.
I think that the impeachment inquiry is going to move into a new phase after Election Day. I think that this scandal is a little bit like the AIDS virus. It keeps mutating into a more potent form. So originally it was a sex scandal. then it was a perjury scandal, then it was a witness tampering, subordination of perjury scandal. Now it's going to be an intimidation scandal.
All right, real quick.
They're going to have woman after woman.
We're just about to break. Dick, I want to get Betsy's final thoughts. No human being should have to withstand the kind of investigation he has withstood for 6 years at a cost of, yes, $40 million of our taxpayer dollars. Nobody should have to do that.
For $41 million, I could have bought health insurance for every uninsured child in the state.
We'll be right back.
Dick Morris, thank you both for being with us.
We'll be back with audience graffiti and questions here at Hofstra University. Please stay with us on Hannity and Combs.
Nobody in this house ever gets diarrhea.
Is my stomach okay?
Or nausea.
I was sick to my stomach.
Or even indigestion.
Oh, my stomach.
But for all those stomach problems, I'm ready with Pepto-Bismol. It's a whole first aid kit for stomachs.
As it coats, Pepto relieves most any stomach problem. Not just a few like these other leading medicines. Pepto-Bismol.
Whether it's their stomachs, or stomachs.
It's first aid for heartburn, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset
stomachs.
Well, Ray, it's crunch time now.
Right, Ted. Look, you've got hungry kids coming on strong.
Mom needs a big play to satisfy them.
Totino's Pizza Roll.
Tasty move, the great taste of pizza in bite-sized rolls.
She spins to the microwave. Here they come.
She rolls right. Oh, she rolls left.
Totino's Pizza Roll. Sensational.
Big win for the home team.
And if you're planning a Halloween party,
make sure you have plenty of Totino's Pizza Roll.
Or it could get scary.
I'm a little nervous. It's your first day, bleach-free. Well, what happens now? We'll both get stain fighters, and then brighteners for colors. Ooh. But first, you get special enzymes instead of bleach, because you're bleach-free. Ooh, I like it.
Introducing new Bleach-Free Clorox 2, a bleach-free breakthrough that works with special enzymes to remove stains and keep colors bright.
Get ready, colors. Here I come. Welcome to the family, bleach-free.
New Bleach-Free Clorox 2.
Kids said, you can't read and you're dumb.
When your child is hurting and sad, it tears you apart.
Everybody called them bad names.
The phonics game gave me a way of teaching my child to read.
The phonics game helped me a lot.
How can you not go out and get a game that will help you teach your child how to read?
The phonics game system is so successful, the makers promise improvement on your child's next report card or your money back. Act now. Try the phonics game, absolutely risk-free.
Browser wars are being fought out in federal court. Day 4 of that huge antitrust trial against Microsoft. And I'll have live reports throughout the day.
A photographer running naked through the streets. What's the connection to the John Benet Ramsey murder case? I'll have the latest from Colorado.
Welcome back to Hannity and Combs. We're at Hofstra University in Long Island, and we call this segment Video Graffiti. And usually we say one sentence only. You are, ma'am? Welcome aboard.
Hi, Veronica from Oceanside.
How are you, Veronica?
Okay. During the Clarence Thomas hearings, liberals and feminists were willing to support Anita Hill, even though her story was 10 years old and simply related dirty talk. So I was wondering where the support is for Paula Jones, or if you don't like her, Kathleen Willey.
Their silence has been deafening. You're a good point.
By the way, I did not support Anita Hill. I think you're exactly right about Anita Hill, by the way.
His hope. We got him. He's coming over.
You're absolutely right about that. And by the way, Paula Jones, the National Organization for Women invited Paula Jones to speak with them, and Paula Jones decided to go shopping that day.
Well, Susan Carpenter has a little different point of view. We'll do that another
All right, let's go over here, sir. Welcome, and good to have you here. Go ahead.
Hi. My name is Gregory Kern. I'm from Belmore, Long Island. And as a parent of children who are the future of this country, what we're learning from this Clinton case, how do we go and draw a line with our children as to telling them what is a lie and what is the truth, and what is the difference between those two things?
Okay. Things happen in life, unfortunately, that are difficult to deal with in terms of our families. And I guess it tests you as a parent, and I bet you're a good one, but does that, again, the bottom line is, do we throw a guy out of office simply because he did tell a lie? But that's dangerous, because if you want to throw everybody out of office who did something bad or told a lie, we'll have nobody in public office.
I have my niece and nephews here. Just look at the language and the low level that we've sunk to. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll use Bill Clinton's words in 1974 when he himself said, if a president ever lies to the American people, he should resign. And I think that's the answer. So, yes, sir. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how you
My
doing?
name is Tim McEnany. I'm from Hofstra Law School.
Yes, sir.
And, thanks.
I have some friends.
Right.
How much an hour to talk to you?
Go ahead, what's on your mind?
Alan, actually, I have a comment for you. I just wanted to say, watching the show, you get pretty frustrated sometimes, but I have to admit, you are my favorite TV villain.
Right, there you go. That's a great point. And by the way, one other thing here. Alan, we're always asking if we get along. Let me tell you, there's nothing more healthy that's good for this country than to get on the air and have two opposing views and invite on great guests, and then we let you decide. We report, you guys.
And we're actually friends, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead. Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Good evening. I'm Linda Halpern from Yonkers, New York, and my question is, as we enter the new century, what do you people believe is the greatest challenge America will face?
Trying to get a liberal in office.
You get the last word, and let me tell you, you've been a great audience. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it.
If you would like a videotape or transcript of this program, please call Federal Document Films. That's 1-888-44-FOX-88 or order through our website at foxnews.com.
The legal teams from both sides met today to discuss the particulars of President Clinton's upcoming impeachment inquiry. Tonight, a look at the issues involved in this historic meeting of the minds. It's been over a year since Good Morning America co-host Joan London left morning television, but how has she dealt with the dawn of a new day in her career? I'll talk to her later in the show. And veteran newsman Roger Mudd has seen it and covered it all over